Was Brody a bully?
Who?
Brody?
I think he was, yeah.
Yeah, he is a bully. I mean, he wasn't when he first started, because I started working with him in Florida early when he first started as Frank Goodish. And I can remember pushing him around the ring a little bit just to get him going because that he was intimidated by the crowds. And then after he got his feet wet, then he started going to Japan. Then he became a big star. Then he kind of had an attitude. If he liked you, but if he didn't like you, he didn't have nothing to do with you. It was a hard business situation to be in. I mean, he never did anything like in bully-wise, like take our lunch away from us or anything like that in the dressing room. But at the same time, you felt the heat. And when you're working with people that want to bully you, they do it to you in the ring, and you know when it happens, like on your comeback. Stan sells his butt off, gives me a hot tag, I come in, boom, 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 they cut me right off like nobody's going to do anything for us, you know what I mean? So that's a hard thing to do. After you give them everything you got and then they don't return it, then, you know, you feel that.
It's got to be a two-way street.
Yeah.
Speaking of two-way streets, what happened with the Road Warriors?
Hey, nice segue.
You like that? What exactly went down with you guys and Hawk and Animal and AWA with the tag team titles? Animal talked about it. I think you briefly talked about it in our interview.
We were in the ring in Minneapolis. We'd already gone around the entire horn, you know, putting them over. Well, now Vern wanted them to put us over in their fake, their working hometown was Chicago, but their real hometown was Minneapolis. They had all of their friends and family there, all their gym buddies, and the bar. What was that the bar called Grandma B's, where they all were bouncers, and so they didn't want to get beat. You know, because all their friends were there. So
plus, two guys look like us.
Yeah, I mean, we're like, you know,
we didn't look
half
like
their size.
Right.
So, I mean, in a street fight, of course, yeah, they'd have kicked our ass. But
sure.
But this isn't street fight. We're trying to make money. You know,
Yeah.
so you got to do what the promoter tells you to do. Well, they weren't going to do it, so they didn't tell Vern that though. They waited until they got in the ring. So the referee is giving instructions, you know, I don't pull the hair and that stuff. So I'm standing there. Well, Steve was he liked to, you know, chew gum, and he's like looking around. He's ready to go. So he's not really listening to this. But I'm standing there, and Animal and Hawk, and so Hawk kind of leans in and goes, "We're not going for the finish." I went, "Huh?" And he went, "Do things their way, nobody gets hurt." Well, Steve just heard the last part of that. He went, "Huh?" And well, Hawk thought he meant like, "Oh yeah, like you think so?" So when he heard that, I mean, he just attacked him. And I'm like, you know, and so Joe is kind of like, well, you know, you're not going to go at it too. And so we kind of like, no, let's just work. So he and I kind of tied up, but Hawk is just going off. So I'll let you take over from there because you were in it.
Well, you know, I'd been in the business quite a while, you know, and I'd learned to deal with a lot of scenarios, but I'd never had anybody in my whole career up in this point say they weren't going to do the finish in the ring, not in the dressing room. I mean, you know, confront the booker, confront the guy that owns the territory, confront the guy that's telling you that you're going to get beat. But he confronted us. And like Stan said, I wasn't paying attention because I was in my zone. And when I said, huh, Hawk, and he hits me with two hands in the chest so hard that I flew and never touched the ground till my feet hit the rope, and I kind of stumbled forward and double leg dived him. Well, that was a big mistake. And then he beat me half to death for, I don't know, maybe seemed like an eternity, but yeah. The only moves they knew at that time were clothesline or press slam. And I must have taken about 5 or 6 press slams. And finally, when he press slammed me one time, he was really slamming me hard, too. He wasn't pressing slamming me. He was drilling me into the mat. Yeah, and so one time, the last time when I just gotten to the point where that's it, I've had it. I'm out of here. He slammed me. I popped right back up to my feet, and I tagged Stan. Well, when I tagged Stan come in and started to try to make a comeback. This is the easiest guy in the world to get along with. I might be a different story, but now he just grounded him, you know, and just like, there's your bully. And he was just bullying him. So sometimes you got to let your mind take over and not try to be the aggressor physically, but outsmart people.
Can you say steel chair?
Yeah. I went and got a chair, come rolling back in, and I shot with that chair.
With the edge of it.
Yeah, and I was whacking him.
Is this on YouTube?
What?
Is this on YouTube, by the way? Can you see this?
I don't know.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
don't know if it ever made YouTube. I know that show where I put the guy to sleep is on YouTube. Anyway, so I started whacking him with the chair. Paul Ellering was their manager. He's on the floor, and he sees this is not a work.
Animal bailed out, and he's going.
Joe
"Oh,
took off. Well, Animal, Hawk, Mike, he wasn't going to take it. He was going to fight me over it, you know, but I was unloading on him, and I wasn't giving him no room to fight back because I knew if he got that chair away from me, I'm dead. Anyway, he rolled out onto the floor. They disqualified us. Boom, those guys won. But we were over unreal just because it showed that we had balls. We didn't just back away from them or whatever, or just like unloaded on them. We didn't care about getting disqualified or whatever. And then that's where I said that it paid off, because when we went back to the dressing room, here comes Vern. Vern comes in cussing us first. You know, about what the hell is that? What are you guys doing? You ruined this whole show. And hey, you need to go talk to those guys. And we told them, said, hey, they said we're not going to do the finish. So he didn't really have control over them. He had already lost control, and he lost control earlier with Hulk Hogan. When he front face locked him, when Hogan front face locked him, and almost put Vern out a year earlier than that, Vern went from being that tyrant to being whooped. And when he went to go confront the Road Warriors, he didn't come back right away. And then we went to a battle royal. And I told Stan, I don't know if I want to go out to this battle royal. I'm dead. And guys like Billy Robinson, Kurt Henning's dad, Larry the Axe Henning, all these.
Who was that Olympic shooter? Rangan.
Brad
Rangan.
Rangan.
Yeah, he was in there too.
They were all, on our side all of a sudden, because that was bad business to do that to us, because if they knew we were easy to get along with. So they all said, we'll take care of the Road Warriors. And it was like that movie, I can't remember, The Wanderers. When we hit the ring, I remember Animal and Mike roll into the ring, and Brad Rangan hooks Mike and starts riding him around, cross facing him, and big Larry the Axe Henning takes Joe down, and they're beating him up, and they're going, leave the Fabs alone, leave the Fabs alone. But it's like, leave the Wanderers alone. I was going, wow, what support we had.
Yeah, that was great.
And they were all shooters.
I mean, he
Every
rode
one of
him
them.
around like Seattle Slew.
Baron Von Raschke, all of them were on them, and they were just trying, because those guys were from there. And it was kind of like a playoff of, you're representing us and you don't want to do business with these guys. So it kind of really put a black mark. I heard Joe tell a story and I heard him tell it different. I heard him tell a story about Puerto Rico and I heard him tell it different. But that's because when you got a story, you got two sides to it. Their side and our side. When we're in separate dressing rooms, that's the issue. We were in separate dressing rooms there, and we were in separate dressing rooms in Puerto Rico when it went down again. So we didn't talk one-on-one. It was somebody translating to us what's going to happen, somebody translating to them what's going to happen. Then when we go out there, it just went haywire. So
What happened in Puerto Rico?
What goes around comes around. And so we're down there at a huge show, an outside show. It's sold out, and that's a dangerous place. They throw rocks at you. And
Carlos?
Spark plug, yeah.
Victor
Yep.
Jovic.
And it was a hot night, and it was a huge card. I think it had like 15 matches, and we were scheduled to go on a little bit past midway. Well, everybody's getting their finishes except us. So we're kind of like looking, it's kind of weird. And so we asked the guy who's going back and forth, you got our finish? He went, nah, man, I'm just holding on. And we're like, oh, this doesn't sound good. Kept going on. We got moved up, and then again and again. So finally, he said, guys, I'm sorry. He said, they don't want to put you guys over. He said, they want to go over. They want their hand raised, and they want to beat you with their finish. So Steve, being the genius that he is, he said, you know what? We'll do it. We'll do everything they want. They'll get their hands raised and all that kind of stuff. He said, tell them, we just asked one thing of them, okay? For once, please sell for us good. And so he came back and said, they said that they'll sell hot comeback, and then boom, 1, 2, 3, you guys go down. So I'll let you take it from there.
I'm taking it from there because they're going, here, watch me bury myself, right? Okay. Well, at the thing was the Bushwhackers were down there. They were running it. Luke and Butch, I think, were the ones. I'm pretty sure that was the two, right? They were running it, and we were supposed to. Stan and I were supposed to come back off of this show to work against them for another show. So my mind thinks like this: if I'm being built to come back, why would you beat me to bring me back?
nothing.
A loser's to come against them. So I said, well, there's always a way out of it. The way it was set up is that Stan would sell, he'd give me a tag, I'd come in, knock both warriors down, boom, boom, boom. Here come the bushwhackers through the crowd, come down to it was on the grass, Roberto Clemente baseball field, right there beside the ring. Now Stan is going to see him. He drops down and just confronts him. I come to the ropes and hold on to the ropes and go, what's going on? And then when I turn around, boom, big clothesline, 1, 2, 3, or set him up and what that. So I'm thinking, I got to be a way to outsmart these guys. So I thought, okay. I said, Stan, the most important thing is pack your bag and have it by the locker room door, because we ain't going to have time to be in this dressing room. We're going to catch a cab out of this place. So when the time was right, I don't think he realized what I was going to do, because he would have probably said, don't do that.
Yeah.
So at the time, I got the hot tag, boom, 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 start making
I've
a comeback.
never seen them sell. They were flip-flopping.
Oh, man, they were going. That was the best they'd ever done.
They were taking backdrops, and I was like, holy crap. Look, so at the peak of that, when they're flip-flopping, getting the jack shit beat out of them, Kiern goes, now, and we bailed and took off.
The bushwhackers come down.
He said, don't look back.
Yeah, don't look back. So when we bailed out, the bushwhackers were on the floor, supposed to be taunting us, but we attacked them. And Luke and Butch are going, no, mate, no, mate, get back in the ring, mate. We fought them, and we fought them right through the crowd, all the way back to the dressing room.
And that's what saved us, because fighting them through the crowd had got in behind us and kept that buffer zone between us and the Warriors, who are now realizing they just got had, and they're pissed.
But they got their hand raised. That's what
right.
I said.
That's awesome.
Because we got counted out. But nobody's looking at the ring, and they're out there with the hand raised. And I could see smoke coming off of Hawk's head, man. He was just like, he wanted to kill me so bad now. I said, well, that was our last shot in Puerto Rico. We actually had 3 more shows, and we left. We left the territory. Hawk come and beat on my room that night, beating on my door. He wanted me to come out. He wanted to fight me, and I'm going, I'm not going to go out there and get beat up. So I said, either get away from my door, or I'm going to call the security to come up after you. He says, I'll get you sooner or later.
Did you guys ever have any run-ins after that?
No, because this is what happened. He smartened up. He realized that we were right. Nobody really got hurt. I mean, I didn't hit him with a pole, knock him out or something like that would have caused a real heat revenge thing. I just did business-wise what needed to be done at the time to make the match for a return better. And he understood it later on. After he calmed down, and about 2 years later, we were back to talking again.